HDC is also exploring wakaf fund for halal innovations with relevant authorities. This is very, very interesting and new. But however, this initiative is still at preliminary stage, and we definitely will update the stakeholders on the progress from time to time. However, in a more strategic approach, researchers are invited to be a member of HDC's Halal Integrated Platform, or HIP, like I mentioned earlier during my speech. So through HIP, we will assist the researchers to get connected with potential investors within the halal ecosystem. So these investors could be one of the multinational corporations, local large corporations, venture capitalists, and maybe some high net worth individuals who are looking for medium to long-term investment opportunities. So that is my brief answer on for the third question. So I think the second question is about HDC role as the central coordinator of halal ecosystem. Actually, HDC was established in 2009, so we are not yet 20 years in operation, but yeah, it's sufficient for us to announce that we are the subject matter expert when it comes to halal ecosystem development in Malaysia. And then the question also asks about what is main scientific research focus for halal as far as HDC is concerned. Many people out there would say big things like halal vaccine, which I totally support. However, for me or for HDC, halal substitutes, which mean alternative ingredients or raw materials, are the areas which we can champion now. So these are the main components for existing businesses to switch to halal. And also for new halal businesses to start. So I see this is doable. The applications could be wide, and the digestion period is not that long. But however, one thing that we need to be concerned here, when there are halal substitutes available, the switching costs must be reduced. As businesses are focused on cost optimization and the bottom line, especially during this hard time, this very challenging economic time. So ringgit and cents become very, very, very important. As such, any cost additions must be well justified and generate similar or higher revenues later on. So end of the day, I think while we are looking for a new substitutes for halal in halal raw materials or ingredients, is back to a business decision whether they have the capability and capacity or not to produce those kind of products. But for us, halal substitutes, halal ingredients, halal raw materials is the something that Malaysia or businesses in Malaysia or entrepreneurs in Malaysia can champion. And we can start it now because we have abundance of raw materials around Malaysia which can substitute non-halal raw materials out there. And back to the first question, what is the way forward of halal? Well, if you ask me, we want more tangible outcomes from halal industry. We want to increase halal exports. We want to attract more direct investment into our country, and we want to create as many quality job opportunities as possible for our people along the way. Muslim majority countries must stop being cheerleaders. Please allow me to use that word. Being cheerleaders and start becoming a real player in halal industry. So all this while we've been talking, that halal industry has this kind of big opportunity, 3 trillion, 38 trillion USD. But I think our Muslim nations, they are not players. We are just too much concentrating on the halal compliance part of it, whereby end of the day, the consumers are looking for good products and also services. Then That's why in many of my talk before this, when people ask me on how to develop a robust and sustainable halal ecosystem, and my answer is there are two elements that we need to focus on. The first one is the governance development, which is the certification and also standards development and also enhancement. But there is another element which is equally important, which is industry development. This is where the activities like manufacturing, production, R&D, innovation, human capital development come into play. So the reason why these two important elements are very important for us to, in order for us to develop a robust and halal ecosystem, if let's say one country just focusing on its halal governance, of course, yeah, that country can, that particular authority over there can announce to the whole world that they have the best halal certification and enforcement in town. But end of the day, you must remember, when people buy products, when consumer looking for halal, they're also looking for halal products and services. However, if let's say one country just focusing on halal industry development only, of course they can have a best product in the world, but unfortunately in the long run they cannot sustain or they cannot preserve the halal integrity throughout the supply chain. So that is the beauty about halal ecosystem development in Malaysia, whereby the government of Malaysia is always looking at that kind of these two perspectives. So if I want to explain and also share my thoughts on this, then there will be another long lecture. But of course, if you are interested to know more and to know how, especially, just let us know, and we are more than happy to partner up with you to grow your own halal ecosystem. So that is my short answers.
Thank you very much, Untitled. It seems that we have done quite a lot, but there's still a long way to go. Yeah. So inshallah, we'll do that together in the halal vicinity. Mr. Hairul, there are a few other questions in the chat room, but unfortunately we trying to keep the time. So what we'll do is we'll collect the questions and we'll pass it to you, inshallah, hopefully that you can directly answer to the questions later on.
Inshallah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, sure.
With me today, so if possible, we can answer. We can help to answer straight away after this session.
All right, thank you. That will be very good. Thank you very much again, Mr. Hairul Arifin, for your very informative talk. Thank you. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we shall now move on to the second invited speaker. We have the pleasure to have with us Dr. Ihsan Ovud, the Secretary General, the Standards and Metrology Institute for Islamic Countries, or SMIC, Istanbul, Turkey. Dr. Ihsan completed his Bachelor of Science International Relations program from Ankara University in Turkey. And he began to work at the Turkish Standards Institution, TSE, at the Department of Bilateral and Multilateral Agreements in 1991. During his term of office under this department for 9 years, he followed standardization activities of various international organizations and conducted meetings of these organizations in Turkey. He was actively involved in managing bilateral cooperation between TSE and national bodies of relevant countries and organizing official visits. Following his successful tenure as the director of several directorates between the years 2000 to 2011, he was appointed as the head of training department of the TSE, which was formed in 2012. He worked hard to improve the existing infrastructure by amending regulation framework and preparing all relevant guides in order to have a centralized system. While he was assuming his duties as the head of training department until December 2014, he was elected as the Secretary General of Standards and Metrology Institute for Islamic Countries, or SMIIC, in the seventh SMIC General Assembly meeting held on 19th November 2014. His term of office as the Secretary General of SMIC officially started on the 15th December 2014 and he has completed his first term by 2017. Upon his nomination again, Dr. Ihsan Albert was unanimously re-elected and is still on active duty as the Secretary General of SMIC. Dr. Ihsan today, inshallah, will be sharing with us his talk entitled OIC SMIC Standards on Halal Issues and Halal Quality Infrastructure. Please welcome Dr. Ihsan.
It's even, yes.
Yes, Dr. Ihsan, the space is yours.
Thank you very much. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear brother and sister, first of all, I would like to thank to the organizer and to invite us for this important virtual conference. I also want to thank for the Malaysian authorities, university, and Halal Development Center HDC. With your permission, I will first I will give outline my presentations. First, I will shortly give information about OIC, Standards and Metrology Institute for Islamic countries, SMIC, and then I will share the about standardization, what standards, and then I will explain our new document about the OIC Global Halal Quality Infrastructure. And then I'll shortly again talk about SMIC structure and its important organs. I will inform you about the Islamic rules in OIC SMIC standards, and then shortly inform you about our standards on halal issues. Finally, I will conclude, inshallah, my presentations. Maybe you all know the OIC. What is OIC? OIC is the second largest intergovernmental organization of the United Nations, established in September 1969, headquartered in Jeddah. OIC has 57 member states, spread over four continents, from America to members, Asian, Asia, and Africa, and Europe. OIC is a collective voice of Muslim world and ensuring to safeguard and protect the interest of the Muslim world. This is shortly OIC. What is SMIC? SMIC is a treaty-based and intergovernmental organization. It's a technical institute and affiliated to the OIC. SMIC is recognized as an international organization, has diplomatic status in Turkey. And SMIC was established in August 2010, officially. Headquartered located in Istanbul. We are not certification bodies. We are not giving any logo to companies. Maybe generally people asking think SMIC also giving halal activities. We are not giving any halal certification. Main objective of SMIC, what is when you categorize or in groups, we have four main objectives. First is to prepare OIC SMIC standards on behalf of all OIC countries. Second objective is to achieve uniformity in standardization metrology and testing laboratories and in the member states. And third, as a third group, to provide technical assistance to member states which do not have such bodies like standardization, metrology, infrastructure, etc. And as a last group, to establish a conformity assessment scheme for the purpose of expediting exchange of material products, manufactured goods among member states, beginning with mutual declaration. This is, here we are talking halal certification, etc. The SMIC has a long history before the establishment. History is going to 1985 as a project. After many years discussion on the OIC level, it started open to the signature of ratification of member bodies, because we are established based on international agreement. This agreement first signed in 1999, and then we need 10 members. After in 2010, we reached 10 countries approved, signed, and ratified its statute in their parliament. In national procedures finalized, officially start to work in 2010. But between 2010 and 12, some procedure work has done for the establishing the institute. In 2015 and 16, started to professionally establish organs and launched platform for the preparation of standards. And first strategic plan was adopted in these terms. In 2017, it started, and the structure has revised, because this very old history, after old history need to revision because of the new development in the international. Established 3 technical councils, one for standardization, second for accreditation, and other for metrology. In the last 5 years, we reach new members. As I said, we start with 10 countries. Now we are 45 countries, new standards developed, etc. All the main documents we have a statute it is an international agreement, the rules of procedure for the implemented statute. We have some internal regulations and the directives and guides for the development standards. We have a new strategic plan for next 10 years, starting this year, 2000 strategic plan for 2021 and 2030. As I said, we have 45 members in spread to 4 continents. 42 is full members, 3 is observers. We have a new vision and new mission. I only read our vision: to create quality infrastructure that improves economy, welfare, and protects our member states. This vision. We have a new 3 main goals, strategic goals. First is related to halal, high quality standards. Therefore, for members, the second one is for quality infrastructure. It can be seen from our website also. This is our strategic priorities, goals, and strategic target, etc. Now I will continue. As you see, we talk about standards. What is standards? What's standardization? It's very important words, should be clarified by all parties, especially in the halal sector. When you talk standards, you have to have a single standard, a single document. This document should be prepared by consensus, by all parts. If it can be national, international, or regional. If document is not prepared by all stakeholders, it's not a standards, the company documents or organization documents. These documents should be have a consensus for all parties and recognized by a body. Who is recognized? This organization recognized by the governments. national standard bodies, regional and or international standard bodies are the recognized body. This document should be used common, not for a company, not for a if standards used for one company, it is not standard, it is a company document and should be used, repeated used and voluntary. This standard should not be mandatory because of the nature of standards need revision time to time according to new development and technologies should be easily changed based on the consensus, recognizing authority and approval of all stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? All related parties, from the universities to the SMEs, to Chamber of Commerce's, private sector, and government organization, non-government organization, consumers, industry, etc., who are related in this area. They are the stakeholders of standardization. If we have standards, what we need a quality infrastructure. It's not enough itself. We have a standards. What is quality infrastructure? All aspects of standardization, metrology, accreditation, and conformity assessment. Conformity assessment include certification, inspection, management systems, testing. They have bearing on conformity assessment. Quality is a system of institutions which jointly ensure that products and process meet predefined specification, which are the standards. Standards, and after that we have the quality infrastructure. This is in the world. This is approved by the World Bank and internationally. You can see in all level you need standards. First, there should be national standard bodies, national metrology institutes, and national accreditation bodies, and between these you have to have standards. As a country, you need certification bodies, not monopoly by one company. There should be more than one free market. Inspection bodies also same, testing laboratories, calibration laboratories as a conformity assessment, and then all of serve to the enterprises, to benefit of the country, to consumers. When you back to halal conformity assessment, what is the pillar of conformity assessment? Start standards first. After standards, you need certifications. It's not itself enough. You need accreditations. Standards are the key to any conformity assessment activity, since the pillars of conformity assessment depend on the existence of necessary standards. In SMIC, we are developing all standards for the related sectors. For example, SMIC 2 for certification bodies. This is a third-party conformity assessment of compliance according with the, for example, SMIC 1 for halal food. Accreditation is we have SMIC 3 competent certifiers, impartial and credible assessment according to SMIC 2. There's a whole system. When you looked in this picture, this pyramid, in bottom level for products and services, we have many standards, SMIC 1, 4, 9, etc. But middle level, we have standards for conformity assessments. They should be accredited according to SMIC 2 is, as I said, is for the certification bodies who are performing halal certification bodies. In top level, in top of pyramid, we have accreditations, standards. These authorized bodies, halal accreditation bodies. In the left, you can see there's a next structure. This is a platform for the mutual recognitions among the accreditation bodies. This is our document will be used in the future of OIC level for halal quality infrastructure. Same thing we categorized here. In the right side, there is SMIC, prepare all standards for accreditations, for certification, for testing laboratories, and we have metrology platform for the reference matter and help to standardizations, bring the necessary support documents for standards activities. Standards for whom? For product certification, for process certification, for testing, for the when the market needs all the for halal chain. You can see what we will reach after this structure. We will answer the customer needs and requirements via standards for raw materials, standards for manufacturing, standards for production, standards for distribution, for storage. And each level, when you need certification, if here for mentioned level, maybe you need testing for distribution time, you need inspection standards for storage also. But there will be logo. Logo also should be according to standards are approved and adopted by the recognized bodies, and then all will be accredited according to the recognized standards, and and at the end, product will go to the end user. What will reach? We will have customer satisfaction 100%. He will be happy. You will answer the complaint, the handling, audit management, warranty for the products, and we will say what we will say at the end. The result of this one, we will have full halal. What will reach of this benefit of this system? There will be a real traceability, increase of consumer trust on halal, and there will be mutual recognition of products will be traveled to everywhere without second check or control or certifications, and the system will bring diminish technical barriers to trade. Trade will be more easier than we have. Here just I want to say some one sentence. This all will be based on accreditation systems. Currently, we have in the world recognition in some countries. This recognition system is just serving to the countries. Country level recognition is not international system. Maybe sometimes can help the only origin countries, but for the free trade, not easy, not respectable. The system, the accreditation system, is the future of the halal. And what turn back, as I said, we will just shortly inform you about SMIC structure and organs. This is our chart, SMIC chart. In top level, we have General Assembly. All members are here. Under General Assembly, we have Board of Directors, elected 13 members. Malaysia is there now, is a member of this one. And then I said we established in 2007 3 technical councils: accreditation, standardization, metrology councils. Shortly, I will inform you. General Assembly is the supreme decision-making organ, top organs of compose all member states. The policy, general policy issues are discussing here. Not more give the informative issue to give you. Board is important, Board of Directors, because this is for technical issues. This organ has high authority for the plans and the activity of the institute, executing by and supervision of these organs. We have a chair and 3 vice chairs. Board of Directors at least 2 meetings in a year. As I said, we have 3 councils. Accreditation Council responsible for the supporting action of establishing a sound accreditation system and membership is limited to accredited bodies of the SMIC member states. 12 national accreditation bodies has managing this council. Accreditation council is organ to carry out activities aimed to establish of an accreditation scheme in the OIC member states. This council prepared OIC Global Halal Quality Infrastructure after nearly 7 or 7 years discussion. Finally, this document this year approved by the board of directors. Next month, we will send this document to OIC for the further endorsement, and maybe OIC will announce and send to all members. This is the system of OIC for halal management, halal quality infrastructure. We have Metro Council. This is a technical scientific area. The membership is open to all members. The managing is not limited to elections. Preparing training program, etc. Technically can be found from the website. The third organ, Standard Management Council, is assigned to task of develop OIC standards in cooperation with SMIC member states. This organ is decision make for standardization activities, establishment of technical committees, and resolution about standardization policies, and the other issues are discussing and approving in this council. This council are managing by the member states. The short name of published SMIC standard is OIC SMIC/SMIC, because we are doing all standards for OIC, not for institutions. This for all OIC members or OIC itself. Under the standardization council, management council, we have technical committees. The standards are not developed by the general standard organ itself, by SMIC itself. We can say standard is handled by various technical committees composed of member states. Each committee has a precise title, a scope, a working program, and then each committee acts in accordance with agreed business plan. This business plan approved by the technical committee and also standard management council. Each technical committee has a secretary and appointed a chairman for 6 years first time, and then each 3 years can have re-elections. And each committee has membership like international organization, full members, PUSA participation member, observer, all members, and liaison organizations. All of our member states. And liaison organization is international organization like important NGOs, like regional organizations. They can be part of the standards activities. Each committee has experts and observers. The committee is working according to the directives. We have two main directives. One is part one is for procedure of technical work, how committee work, how quality established, and the other organs. And the second of the structuring of drafting the standards, and two guides, for one for adoption, second for the distribution and sale of standards. We have a special committee for conformity assessment. It means halal certification, accreditation, and inspection standards under the response of this committee. Till now, we have 17 technical committees plus a policy committee on standards for conformity assessments. For halal issues, we have halal food issues, halal cosmetic. Tourism is preparing halal standards, and then for example, in halal supply chain and halal management systems, as a TC 10, 11. We have a halal pharmacy, TC 16, TC 16 and TC 10 as a secretary. A chairman is from Malaysia, for example. The TC 1 secretary and chair from Turkey. Cosmetic secretary from United Arab Emirates. agriculture products. His secretary is from Iran, Leather, Pakistan, Terminology, Sudan. Tourism is secretary in Tunisia, etc. The secretary is assigned to a country. Each standards workers developed on the basis of project. First, like a project starting by these technical committees. A project is any work intended to lead to the issue of new, amend, or revise standards. If you have a current standard going to be revised, is also a work for committees, like drafting any document and finalized to be published as standard. But each standard have to go several levels. We have 6 levels in the stage in the standardization work, from the proposal to publications. In each level, there is a limited times can be waited. Sometimes you have to wait it for voting times, especially 3 months, 2 months. For example, in committee level, 3 months for ballots by default, 3 or 4 months for vote possible. And this some level can be skipped if you have a mature document. Committee agree on the document. For example, we have a national standard, Malaysian standards. If committee decide to publish the OHAQ standards, it can be skipped to the from first level to the 4th. And then in the 4th level, we are sending document for 3 months balloting to all member states. We are looking the national consensus. There is consensus means at least more than 75 of the members should vote in favor, not against. And then two type vote method is here calculating for consensus. One is for all members, therefore committee members. In committee members level, 1/3, not more than 1/3 be against standards. If we reach in committee membership and national all SMIC members level together, you have to reach the consensus. With consensus, there is no any disapprove in these levels. The standards also can be skipped to the publication. If there is still technical issues need to be discussed, we are sending again as a final draft for 2 months. It means a standard can be published at from 6 months to 2 years time. Take a standard published from beginning to end. All activities are all this documentation and voting are doing under the SMIC information system, online system. Enhance and organize the SMIC technical work, easily access to the technical committees, documents, and improve the communications are doing under this system. Till now, we have 41 published standards. I'm seeing is showing you, for example, OKASMIIC 1, OKASMIIC 2, 3, 4. You are seeing name of standards. Our old standards is only maybe 3 years ago, not more than. Standards. These are all standards.
Dr. Ihsan, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you have many more slides.
Yes, not more. I will just conclude in 5 minutes.
Because we have a few questions I think would be interesting for you to.
Okay. I will. I'll just these 2 slides important. Then I will give.
Okay.
We'll come back to questions.
Thank you.
There's a last section of my presentation. Islamic rules in OKASMIIC standard. What type of Islamic rules are using standards. First of all, we have to know the religious base for standard. Islamic rules, this is a word in standards, they say, because many terms are using, some countries say Sharia law, Sharia rules, etc. But in standards, OSM standard, Islamic rules or Sharia rules are using, because many countries have some concerning about the terminology. Only Islam International Academies fatwas are essentials, because our main partner designated by the OIC is International Academies, is the what was received from here. Standard are not fiqh documents. Sometimes they're mixing. They are looking at standards as holy documents, not the holy documents. The holy is our holy books, Quran, is and Sunnah, and other resources. But standards are the technical documents, but they are include Islamic rules. Because we are talking about how slaughtering and how you say name of God, etc. What is halal, what is halal? All these are receiving from the fatwas and putting in the standards. Standards in halal treaties are for products subject to consumption and trade among Muslim and others. Halal production, certification, and accreditation are added value and trust to the products. And that's some quote from International Islamic Academy, important stakeholders in halal industry of SMIC, a supreme authority at the level, state level for religious inspection. For example, in the Malaysia, you have JAKIM is supreme authority. In Turkey, Diyanat. In country, you have top organization, but these are for fatwa, for religious issues. If some country, if you don't have it, they ask Islamic councils like this for non-Muslim countries. At least you have the councils. For example, in Singapore, they have MUIS, etc. They are these organizations should not be certification bodies according. Because they are supreme authorities. They should be not being directly in the certification. They want to be at top level. Accreditation bodies, these shall be owned and directed by Muslim. Because this fatwa is say this one, and standards also, our standard says. Why we are mentioning it? Because there is a lot of initiative. They want to give these authorities right to the non-Muslims accreditation bodies. Fatwa is against this one. Certification bodies also, there's sometimes some people says everybody should give halal logos, etc. Fatwa says this shall be owned and directed by Muslim only. There's a limited for halal certification. Only halal CBs can do these activities. And then key persons and the others should be like employee, should be Muslim, must be Muslim, not allowed to the non-Muslim be key actor in this service. And they says, remember always, halal is sovereign issue of the Islam Ummah first. Halal for all humanity, but first is sovereign issue of the Islamic Ummah, is our Ummah. And standards can find in the list. For example, just shortly, I will say some standards. For example, SMIC 1, from preparation and processing to end users, these standards include all basic requirements for halal food. These standards are prepared in OIC level first and then transferred to the SMIC. And I was in the first, at the beginning, went together with Malaysian team, etc. When Malaysia was the secretary of this, the chair of this committee in one OIC level in 10 years ago, 13 years ago. Now is these standards has many reference in international and also resource from national standard like Malaysia and other countries. SMIC 2 is for required for halal certification bodies. Only, as I said, Muslim CBs can do these activities. Only OIC member countries, accreditation bodies can do halal accreditation. Is limited to halal certification, not limited to OIC countries, but accreditation is limited to OIC member countries. But also this, for example, it can be Muslim country, but on this also management on the country level of the accreditation activity, halal should be Muslim and the Muslim entity. Accreditation body can do this any activity in other countries. Cosmetic also is new standards. This last 2 years published. This is for the restaurant, for the cafe, etc. How we implement OHAQ'21. This for halal tourism. After the 6 years discussion and many times, take a lot of time, is for halal all type tourism and hotel accommodations. This standards ISLAMIC 17-123 is secretary is chaired by Malaysia. I hope Malaysia also will adopt all our standards as a national standards. This is new published standards 3 months ago for halal management, which is for all type companies. This also this year published halal edible gelatins. This for food additive last year published. We have more 3-4 standards that are all for the conformity assessment certification area. This for example, OKASMIIC 33 example of certification scheme for halal products. This for the certification personnel who are involved in halal related activities, for the actors, technical experts who want bodies certificate the persons for them. They were testing laboratories. As a conclusion, OIC standards are the result of common study and achieved of the OIC members and partners through the technical committees. As I said, members are preparing standards. SMIC is a common platform for the set of for all stakeholders, and OIC halal standards are common standards for the Muslim world and all interested parties. Thank you for your kind attention. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Maybe I can take one question for you, Dr. Ihsan.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll take the last question in the chat box here. What are the SMIC's plans to assist the halal industry or halal economy for Muslim communities in non-OIC member states?
Sorry?
What are SMIC's plans to assist the halal industry, halal economy for Muslim communities in non-OIC member states?
Yeah, we are standards body. We are not first of all, our priorities for the OIC members, but our standards for all any non-OIC can use standard. Only for the accreditation, there's the limitations. The other standards for all parts, all afterwards, anyone can use it. Because the accreditation is very critical issue in halal conformity assessment activities, because we are given the passport to travel products, and also accreditation is doing by on behalf of the public, is not issue, cannot be non-Muslim issue. You are a non-Muslim cannot authorize a Muslim like this. That's all standard for everybody.
Right. Thank you,
Yes.
Dr. Ihsan. Thank you very much for your sharing today. Inshallah, we'll see you again in other occasions. Thank you very much.
Inshallah. Thank you. And the question I hear.
Yes, Dr. Ihsan, there are also other questions in the chat room. If you want to directly answer them in there, we'll be greatly appreciated. If you have to move on to the next session.
Okay, I will make copy. If some are critic, I will write to you.
Right. Thank
Thank
you
you very
very
much.
much. Thank you. That's great.
Have a good conference. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Prof. Yumi, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Okay, before we, okay, Ketu? Am I okay now? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Before we continue to the final session of day one, which is parallel session data, please allow me to run through the program for day two. Inshallah, tomorrow we'll start our program at 9 for parallel session data. And then we'll have one keynote speech at 11 and followed by 2 invited speakers before the lunch break and Zohar prayer at about 1 o'clock. In the afternoon at 2 p.m., inshallah, we'll have the special session with the chairman of iConnect, Halal Supply Chain, which is being promoted in the chat room just now by HDC. So we hope to see everyone there. As for now, for parallel session beta, which will start very soon, please join using the meeting ID and passcode sent to your emails. You may select the room you would like to join. You can switch between the rooms at any time, but note that capacity of each room is 200 participants. If that particular room is full, you may try at a later time to rejoin. With that, thank you. Stay safe. Terima kasih.